Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of March 9th, 2020. We're missing one player around the table. I don't think she's very far away. Here we go. Without further ado, we'll start with the announcement. Dear colleagues, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Welcome to this meeting. For roll call, we have confirmation of quorum. Any declarations of conflicts of interest? None for tonight's agenda. For the adoption of the agenda, moved by Councillor Cormier, seconded by Councillor Leblanc, the agenda for the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The agenda is adopted as presented. Item number 7, presentations, inquiries, and petitions. 7.1. Inquiries by council members to Kodiak Regional RCMP. Good evening, welcome. Any questions this evening for the RCMP? No questions? They're very soft this evening towards our new inspector. Like I said at the last meeting, you can send me questions tomorrow, next week. Just call me anytime you wish. It'll be a pleasure to answer your questions and work together with you to settle any problems within the community. Thank you. You're welcome to stay, but we'll understand if you wish to leave. Questions from the public. Our vast public. No questions this evening. We shall continue with the adoption of minutes of February 24th. Any motion? Moved by Councillor Arsenault, seconded by Councillor Boutillier. Any questions on the minutes of February 24th? It is difficult to second if you weren't there, so we're going to change. It's seconded by Councillor Thibodeau. No questions? All those in favor of the adoption of the minutes signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The minutes of the meeting of February 24th are adopted as presented. Item number 10, motions, memorandums, and nominations for operations. 10.1, Mr. Milasso, thank you, Your Worship. Good evening, everyone. For the Uniplex, it's taking shape, and here we want to authorize the acquisition of electrical appliances for $80,156 from Big Eric Sink. We hired a consultant, Marc Surette, and Big Eric's work with our staff to identify the equipment we need in our community kitchen. And there's also going to be a canteen, so we want to work with that as well. So the equipment are a certain size, so it should look good with the design of the community kitchen as well as the concession stand. So the contract is worth $80,156, including $25,000 that we had indicated in the agreement for electrical appliances. So this is in conformity with public acquisitions. It was in the budget identified for the Uniplex. Thank you for the reading of the resolution. Councillor Thibodeau. Thank you, Your Worship. The Council authorized the purchase of electrical appliances for the Uniplex from Big Eric's Inc. at the total cost of $80,156 plus HST, and further authorized that this expenditure be defrayed from account number 3330127604, General Capital Budget, Intergenerational Complex. I so move. Moved by Councillor Thibodeau, seconded by Councillor Allaire. For the question. No questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried as presented. Item number 10.1.2, it's a tender award for waste collection and disposal services. We had an RFP and received 2 proposals, so it was recommended to give the contract to Fair Waste Recycling for the cost of $1,638,000 for residential collection once a year, and the municipal buildings as well. This is a contract for 2 years to be renewed for an additional 2 years between the city and the contractor. So we can decide if we want to renew 1 year at a time for 2 years. This is an important increase. We had a really good contract initially for residential waste. It's an increase of 23% in special residential collection. There's an increase. What's interesting, when you read it, you see how much it costs per residence to collect the waste each week, and especially the residential special collections. It's affordable, though, for this service. It was evaluated, and it's a first-class service, so we recommend to proceed with this contract. For the reading of the resolution, Councillor Brideau. Thank you, Your Worship. The Council award the contract for the residential and municipal buildings waste collection and disposal services for the July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2022 period to the lowest bidder, Fair Waste and Recycling, Inc., at the estimated cost of $1,638,000 plus HST, as per its proposal dated January 14th, 2020, and the unit prices below, and authorize this expenditure be defrayed from account number 1242692690, General Operating Budget, Solid waste removal. Residential waste collection. Year 1, 52 weekly collections for the July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 period. $79.56 plus HST per dwelling. Year 2, 52 weekly collections for the July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022 period, $81.64 plus HST per dwelling. Special residential collection. Year 1, 3 annual collections for the July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 period, $9.29 plus HST per dwelling. Year 2, 3 annual collections for the July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022 period at $9.57 plus HST per dwelling. Municipal buildings waste collection. Year 1, bin collection and waste treatment expenditure estimated at $47,000 plus HST. Year 2, bin collection and waste treatment expenditure estimated at $48,000 plus HST. I so move, Your Worship. Moved by Councillor Brideau, seconded by Councillor Cormier. For the question, Councillor Alain. Thank you, Your Worship. I have a question. Last year, I criticized the company respecting special collections. We had 2 special collections, and here we have 3. It's a change here? No, it's the same number of times: spring, fall, and Christmas trees. So Ferro does the Christmas trees as well? Yes. Is there a plan for the special collection in the spring? Last year it didn't go very well. I wondered if we had resolved the problems. Mr. Book or David Knowles may be able to answer that. Mr. Book. Good evening. We met with the company a few times. They made a few adjustments to the fall collection. In the spring, we know we had challenges, but the company's biggest challenge is the workforce. Usually they have 12 employees to do the collection, and when they go behind vehicles, they get behind. They're trying to solve that problem for the discussions. We're going ahead and we're going to educate citizens too. Perhaps they contribute to the way they place the waste on the side of the street. It helps during the collection because they pick up metal, electronic equipment, and that type of stuff. They have 2 or 3 different collections during the week. Everything is not always picked up in one day. So we have discussions with them, and we have other meetings planned OC before the spring collection. It'll be the week for the long weekend in May. I can't remember the date exactly. So in the fall it went well. We hope that it'll be the same in the spring. Thank you. Question, Madame Lepoutier? Don't we have a committee that can give us recommendations in the way we can put the bags and the bins, different options? The contractor gives us flexibility to adjust our needs. It doesn't affect this contract? No. Yes, we do have flexibility. Thank you. Councillor Thibodeau. Thank you, Your Worship. I noticed that the proposal says we're going to pay $1,638,000, and the proposal $1,500,000. What's the difference here? It's the number of units. We had asked for the collection of municipal buildings, and the amount was based on residential collection. So when you add the total of the contract, you have to add the municipal buildings. Okay, thank you. No other questions? All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried as presented. Item number 10.2.1, PACA recommendation, tentative plan, Jardin Beau Soleil subdivision, Unit 5, Phase 2. Here, the committee, the Planning Advisory Committee recommends the planning was for Liam Street, but for accessibility reasons, they recommend the entrance on Melanie Street, and they're going to start with Lorette Street. So that's the change. Staff recommends this change. So we're looking for your approval this evening for the subdivisions. There was a consultation with the developer? Yes. For the reading of the resolution, Councillor Arsenault. Thank you, Your Worship. The Council accepts the Planning Advisory Committee's recommendation relating to the acceptance of the Jardin Beau Soleil subdivision, Unit 5, Phase 2 tentative plan, which provides for the relocation of public streets Liam and Mélanie, as well as the setting aside of land for public purposes. I so move, Your Worship. Moved by Councillor Arsenault, seconded by Councillor Thibodeau. For the question. No questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The resolution carried as presented. Item number 10.2.2, to set a date for public hearing. Mr. Malasso, here we have a date for April 14th next for a public hearing for a project on Namiro Street near the water tower. The zone as identified as single dwelling homes, and they want mixed residences. So they want 22 units. It's a development for this zone. So on April 14th, they're going to make a presentation before the council for your consideration. And we're asking for this request go to the Planning Advisory Committee for the recommendation. Councillor Leboutillier for the reading of the resolution. The council scheduled a public hearing on April 14th, 2020 at 7 p.m. at the Dieppe City Hall to hear objections with regards to a proposed amendment to the zoning map under bylaw Z10 brackets 2017 to allow for the development of a cluster of row house dwellings on the land identified under PID 70633389. The council requests the written views of the Planning Advisory Committee and extend the deadline pursuant to Section 110 brackets 3 of the Community Planning Act to April 27th, 2020. I so move, Your Worship. Moved by Councillor Boutillier, seconded by Councillor Godet. For the question? No questions. All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The resolution is carried as presented. Any comments from council members? We're going to start with Mr. Gadet to start. Thank you, Your Worship. I haven't much to mention tonight except that yesterday we had a celebration for International Women's Day for equality and rights of women, so we should send out a special thought to all women for equality in this country. It's a discussion that must take place not only today, but it's important to note that the advancements for women, be it in politics or work or within the society, is very important. That's my only thought for this evening. Thank you, Councillor Godet. Councillor Leblanc, I have nothing new to add. Thank you. Councillor Cormier. Thank you, Your Worship. I have nothing to add. Thank you, Monsieur Rideau. The same for me. I have nothing to add. We're flying. Councillor Leboutillier. Well, I'm going to say something. Like we said yesterday, we had a tournament of raquettes in Dieppe, and we have new directions that we're going towards. We had 120 teams. About half of them come from outside of the province, from a little bit everywhere. This is sports tourism. There's economic spin-offs in the greater region of several $1 million. Last year it was 1.7 million. Yes, Dieppe, we have our new intergenerational center, so it'll be even better. So congratulations to everybody, especially volunteers. Then congratulations to everyone. Councillor Thibodeau. I'm going to congratulate the volunteers because I heard a lot of positive comments. So I think we should congratulate them. I have two other points. I already mentioned them before. the bags, the flyers in the plastic bags. Last week we had a storm, and there were bags that were in the yards, and the snow blowers sprayed them around everywhere with the snow. I even had to pick some up in my own yard. So we must either prohibit them or ask the people delivering them to put them on the steps. I think we have to do something quickly about this. And the waste, the green bags, they're put outside without being put in containers, and it's a problem that exists for a long time. Last year, I had complaints from a citizen. His neighbor had his green bag outside. It was on his deck, and there were quite a few of them. And then he saw that the rats were coming to eat there. We don't want the same problem with rats as our neighbors, so we have to do something about that. The same people complained last week again. The same neighbors. So we must absolutely ask our citizens and oblige them to put the garbage that are in green bags be put in containers. It can't cost more than $15 to $20. If we have to finance a part of them for citizens that need them, perhaps we should do that. I leave you on that note. Firstly, we asked Brunswick News to make a presentation to us so we get the source of the information from those who are producing these bags of flyers. And we had a copy of the bylaw that was sent to our neighboring town. And the green bags, I know the internal committee, the staff are working on that. They're going to do a presentation before council, so that's about to happen soon. People are responsible for their garbage, and if there's any trash around the house, it's up to them to pick it up. So we're working on a solution for the green bags. Thank you. I think we need to do something. Before the election, we should settle these two files at least as soon as possible. If you want encouragement, I can provide that. Councillor Arsenault, thank you, Your Worship. We had a good March break. And I was very proud on March 8th because it was Women's Day. And purple was a color for women. And I'm happy to see that women are going ahead on many points. We still need help, however, to get to the same level of equality as men. I'm proud of the progress we've made until now, even though we still have a lot to do. And I have a question for Mr. Babin, please. I don't know if I have problems seeing the lines, but I can't see the white lines on the streets. Are you going to paint them soon? I think it's Public Works that should answer that question. Mr. Bourque. Okay, well, are we going to have white lines on the street soon so that I could see? It's the temperature that's going to dictate when we start. It'll be in May. We never know. Hoping that we'll have a few painted before May, that the temperature will allow that. A lot of factors come into account. The state of the streets, for one thing. And we hope that spring will accommodate us as well. I know a lot of people realize that we must wait for good temperature, but it's true. We don't see the white lines very well. Thank you. Councillor Alain. I have three things. Firstly, I want to repeat what Councillor Le Boutillier and Thibodeau had mentioned about volunteers. There was a ringuette tournament, a hockey tournament at the high school. And 2021 and 22, there will be a hockey tournament in Dieppe and Memramcook next year at the Uniplex, and I'm on the committee, the parents committee that organizes. We have a lot of volunteers, and they ensure the hotels and restaurants are ready, even the co-op. There's a lot of work being done. Through back doors, back halls, people are working very hard so that Dieppe can be proud. So I want to congratulate them and thank them. I want to thank our leisure department. During the March break, I stayed in Dieppe, and I had a lot of things to do with my children. We went to the pool, the arena, and it's very special when you go to the Centenary Arena. There were 18, 12-year-old kids on the ice. They just created teams and started to play. There were no parents. And they just played together. They laughed a lot. There were no colors of teams. I hope that we can do even more. It's weeks like that where families can be together, be with the children, have a lot of fun. And I hope that we can do that more and more. It had been a long time since I had had that feeling. And for the municipal manager, I was sitting with a parent at the Centennial Arena, and the question is, what's happening there? And I know that His Worship spoke to the press a few months ago. Is there something being done there? Or if people are interested, can they call you? Mr. Milazzo. If they want a development project, they could call Expansion Dieppe or me, and I'll send them there. With the Centennial Arena, it'll be in operation until the end of March. We have a recommendation before the council soon. During the next few weeks, you'll have to plan the future of the arena. Thank you, Councillor Alain. At least twice a week, we have a gang of old-timers that play hockey. We respect each other. It's a favorite sport, and it's wonderful. I would like to mention the events during the week of March break. We also had the oval the skating oval that was very busy all week. And I'd like to encourage people to take advantage of the events taking place at our arts culture. I invite you to go on their website. There have been changes respecting the administration, and there's an increase of activities. There's much more volume. They do an excellent work. Louis Doucette has come to support us at the Arts and Culture Center, and it benefits the whole community. So good evening, everyone. See you next time.